Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. About a month ago, well, month today as a matter of fact, a bunch of buddies and I went up to Adepticon in Schaumburg, Illinois. Ironically enough, the last Adepticon that will be held in Schaumburg, Illinois, as they're moving to Milwaukee next year. And I thought it was about high time that I went ahead and showed off what I got at Adepticon. So here we go. First up, the first booth that I went to was the Catalyst Games Labs booth, since they were literally the first one there. And I picked up a copy of Clan Invasion and a copy of Alpha Strike. The Alpha Strike has been very difficult for me to track down, and that's my second Clan Invasion, so I figured extra max. I also took the opportunity to pick up the Battletech manual, which will kind of help me fumble my way through games relearning. And I also picked up some Lance packs. I picked up the Clan Command Star. I picked up the Inner Sphere Striker Lance. I also picked up the Inner Sphere Support Lance. There we go. And finally, Snord's Irregulars, because it had the Frankenmech in it. But that was the first booth I visited, and honestly, I spent the majority of the money that I had, percentage-wise, at that booth. And then I proceeded into the rest of the dealer's room. And let's see. I did visit the Bits guy, and I hope he continues to go to Adepticon even with the move to Milwaukee. For my Horus Heresy stuff, I picked up 10 Legion Cataphracti Terminators, so that'll be fun to put together. Also, I went to the Black Site Studios booth and managed to pick up a few things. And you too. Okay. From Black Site Studios, I managed to pick up Demon Ship. That is a game I've been trying to track down for a very long time, and I'm looking forward to getting it on the table and playing it. Also picked up some additional suitless astronauts for Lunar, which I want to get on the table as quickly as possible, because, I mean, come on, it's like Moonraker and For All Mankind mixed up into one. I also picked up the commemorative miniature for 2024. It's a Commonwealth astronaut with a big old shield and looks like a pipe. That'll be fun to traipse around on the moon. I also picked up the Creepy Couple to paint up. Also, for a special project, I picked up the set of Paranormal Investigators. The booth was very small. However, they had just about everything. I will say that it was probably silly of me, because I actually went to that booth twice. The second time I went to that booth, because I had intended to go back and get Demon Ship and the little MDF board that they sell for it. And when I got back to the booth, they had exactly 3 copies of Demon Ship and none of the MDF. So if you've heard people say at Adepticon, if you see it, get it, that's what they're talking about, because the stuff moves very, very fast. Granted, we came on Saturday, but it was towards the tail end of the convention, but they had the MDF kits there when I was there the first time. So yeah, take a page from my book. If you see it, buy it. I also hit one of the general retailers, because one of the things I was intending to do when I went to Adepticon this year was to not buy anything directly from the Games Workshop booth. I prefer to support third-party retailers. So I did manage to find for my Horus Heresy stuff. I did manage to find the Legion Astartes battle group that has all the Mark IIIs in it, and a Land Raider, and a Doritos Locos Dreadnought. And finally, as we were leaving, a buddy of mine was like, "Hey, you need to come to this booth so I can show you this really cool game that you might be totally into." Now, that said, back in the day, I was a pretty heavy player of Battlefleet Gothic. I love Battlefleet Gothic. The ships were always fun to put together. The game played really quick, and uh, it was actually my first entry for Games Workshop. I've actually been gaming since I was in grade school, so 40 plus years in various and sundry games. But Battlefleet Gothic was my into the GW universe. But I have been trying to put some distance on that and try to diversify back out. But I did manage to go to the TT Combat booth, which I really hadn't intended to visit because I didn't think there was anything that they would sell that I'd be interested in. But I did manage to pick up a copy of the Drop Fleet Commander 2-player starter set. And whenever I get into a game, I don't just buy the starter set, I get something additional. And I picked up a pair of cruisers for the United Colonies of Mankind. The friend of mine that showed me this game decided that he was going to play the Post-Human Republic, so he picked up their starter set. But in all, Adepticon is a great time. It's very loud, but we managed to get some games in. We played in the Battletech, I think they call it the Grinder, where you get a mech and you go play, and if you get destroyed, you go back and get another one, etc., etc., etc. And that was actually a lot of fun. And on our way out, like literally on our way to go to the car, I did manage to pick up one commemorative thing, which was the Adepticon 2024 Purity Seal. So in all, not too crazy, but I think if you have the opportunity to go and you have the opportunity to go around the booths and pick out some things, you're going to find stuff that usually is a little harder to find. That like every manufacturer in the States and some that are outside the country go to Adepticon, and they have a booth set up, and they are moving their products. So if you get the opportunity, I strongly recommend going to Adepticon in the future. And that really concludes my haul. So we were going to start working on this stuff and moving stuff from the gray. Thanks.